the psychometricians and the OBGYN or the surgeon is happy with it, then we will proceed with the operation. This seems to work fine for a few years, and the registration then based on a recommendation, and they would change the IC with no problems at all. And there were no kind of social upheaval. They get their jobs, and they go for job interview, they show their IC, and they can get passport and their gender then based on their IC. And so things seems to be fine, or so I thought at the time. This was at Masjid Negara. I think there were 20 muftis who called us to explain what we were doing. So I brought my team and made a presentation on how they are rigorously thinking, explain the theory behind this, explain the scientific evidence which we have, why we are doing this, and then of course explain the social impact where these people are allowed to be integrated into society seamlessly. So anyway, after the presentation, a few weeks later, I received a letter to say that, you know, this is now forbidden under Islam.
Kalau Malaysia tak kuat agama, mungkin I akan operate. Mestilah setiap hati I selalu, kalau boleh kan, nak jadi perempuan sepenuhnya. Tapi duduk Malaysia, dia tak guna, you operate pun, you duduk dalam Malaysia tak guna. You tak boleh maju ke mana pun.
Agama menyebut dalam hadis Nabi, misalnya Nabi kita sallallahu alaihi wasallam dia melaknat orang yang laki-laki menyerupai wanita. Dia juga melaknat orang perempuan yang menyerupai laki-laki. Kalau dia membuat pembedahan jantina itu dari hasil penyelidikan yang definitif yang membuktikan bahawa gender dia yang sebenar ia itu dengan alat-alatnya sekali. Hanya dia ada 2 alat. Kalau itu yang berlaku, dia hermaphrodite, nak menguatkan alat yang memang dominan dalam diri, dibuat hormon terapi dan lain-lain. Itu tidak menjadi masalah dalam masyarakat. Dalam ajaran agama pun tidak menjadi masalah. Dalam undang-undang pun tidak jadi masalah. Yang menjadi masalah ialah orang yang khayal dia adalah perempuan yang dilahirkan dalam tubuh laki-laki. Kemudian dia bercakap kepada orang, I was a woman born in a boy's body.
I would say that, you know, in Malaysia, our Islam practice is very different from some other Islamic countries. Okay, in Egypt and Iran, they actually allow sex change if it can be proven that, you know, the transsexual really have to be, you know, have to have a sex change in order to have a better life. As a non-Muslim, I always wonder why Islam is practiced so differently in Malaysia compared to Iran and Egypt.
Itu mungkin barangkali kerana ada tekanan dari kumpulan-kumpulan feminis mungkin. Kumpulan-kumpulan profesional yang dipengaruhi oleh apa yang saya panggil, diguna juga di bar, social imaginaire. Yang berlaku di Iran misalnya dari apa yang saya baca, dipengaruhi oleh kedudukan Khomeini sendiri misalnya dalam teologi Syiah.
Orang pun boleh bertanya kenapa kat sana boleh, kat sini tak boleh, you know. Even kita punya sendiri pun kat sini pun dari segi undang-undang syariah pun tak sama. You know, dia tak standardized. So itu yang pelik dia. Kadang-kadang undang kat negeri lain tu lain, undang kat negeri tu lain. So maknanya kalau kat negara Malaysia ni lain, mana negeri lain pun lain juga. Tapi setahu saya agama tu satu je lah. Dulu maknya tak tahu tentang hak dia, hanya ikut saja bila orang keluarkan fatwa gitu kita terima saja. Sebab bukan semua maknya yang nak buat pembedaan jantina. Jadi kalau dia tak buat pernah jantina, so maknanya isu tu tidak melibatkan dia. Tapi bila sudah dikeluarkan fatwa tu, bukan hanya tak boleh buat pernah jantina di Malaysia, IC pun dia orang tak boleh bagi IC perempuan, ya. Jadi masalah lah. Yang masalahnya orang yang kat luar. Itu saja. It's not like you sampai sekarang ni you ada krisis. What kind of crisis? We don't have crisis. Yang orang yang buat krisis pada kita, that is like they don't recognize us as a maknya. Kalau dia tak recognize as a wanita pun, just recognize as a maknya cukup lah. Kalau dia letak dalam ID kita pun, sex tu TS ke TG pun, we are okay with it. We are okay with it. Tak semestinya, you nak letak perempuan sana, and bagi macam-macam ni lah. Yang bagi kita is okay. Itu saja recognition yang kita nak. Rather than you dah buat sex change, muka perempuan dan perempuan, sex male. What is that? Siapa yang confused?
Yes. Okay. I just want to inquire lah.
Inquiry only ya.
Just inquire. Okay. Pasal isu-isu yang transseksual yang telah membuat pembedahan sepenuhnya, whether they are allowed to change their name or whatever particular in their IC. Macam mana tu?
So kalau tak mistaken I lah kan, dia punya tu ambil daripada masa kita lahir. So even though let's say kalau you kata so operational, they still refer for it. Yes.
The National Registration Department doesn't allow that. So you will have to actually take it up to court to get a declaratory order from the court to allow you to go to the National Registration with a copy of that order and says that, look here, I've got the order from the court, do it.
So here personal liberty was defined as constituting also the right to one's identity. I think that is how I read it, and that's my understanding of that decision, that particular decision. And I think this is mind-blowing, the sense that we are perceived as an Islamic Asian country, and yet we have created new frontiers with this decision. And I believe this is very encouraging.
I think it's a very isolated case. In future, may any other court will follow that decision or not, we will not know. We have to see.
So we will have to wait for something more substantive, and so we will have to wait for that to come up. But of course, we are really willing to take it up and rely. Of course, we will be waiving this. Whichever judge that we do this matter, waive it at him and says, like, look here, there is a decision on this point. You should allow it. So if you want to go for this, complete change of all your identification papers to male to female, you will have to have a complete sex change operation.
After when the fatwa came out, and then after that, they are not accepted anymore, as a legal entity. So then, they cannot change their IC and so on. I think it went downhill for them. More than 50% of the respondents in my research were sex workers. They started doing sex work basically because they couldn't get good jobs.
Susah sister nak cari kerja. Lama tak jumpa.
Apa Syah?
Baiklah.
Lama tak jumpa kan?
Yelah. Okey sekarang saya duit. Susah. Kau dah buka api dah?
Buka api baru dia sampai.
Baru sampai. Alung tak datang pula kan?
Alun cuti.
Bila nak buat tetek ni? Kan Lopez pun dah buat semua. Seksi sekarang make up sekarang. Kalau kau tengok sana mesti berangkut. Semalam aku berangkut. Aku semalam 14 orang.
Malah aku banyak apa tu? Banyak sangat dah.
I dah selesa macam ni. I jadi bos, I jadi kuli. Daripada pergi minta kerja tempat lain, pergi sana interview dekat 10 kali pun tak dapat. What for? Sekarang ni bilik ni kau ambil alih. Bolehlah aku kerja sini kalau macam ni. Kenapa tak boleh pula?
Rumah dia nak 3 orang je.
Tak betul-betul lah. Takkan tak boleh kerja sini.
Ya Allah, sumpah. Takkan apa nak
Takut sangat aku berangkut.
If they get discriminated outside, they couldn't get a job, what do you expect? And some of them were telling me that they actually have to support their family. In fact, some of them do sex work quietly, I mean, and then they're supporting their younger brothers and sisters, to go to college. And some of them have old parents to look after.
Ni berapa ni?
Kau.
Ya, dia kata dulu dia ambil. Dulu kan COE, hari ni kan 3 pelong.
Ambil lah.
Kan dah lah. Kan dah harga dah naik.
Macam dia minyak petrol pula.